Good morning, staff and students. I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce myself to you as your new principal. My name is Mrs. Bronson, and since I have a doctoral degree in educational leadership, you can also call me Dr. Bronson. I've met many of you in the hallways and in your classes since the beginning of the semester, and I realize that although you know you have a new principal, many of you do not know who I am and do not recognize me when I greet you in the hallways. So I'll keep the camera on for this entire video so that you can better recognize me when you see me in the school. I also wanted to introduce or reintroduce, and for those students who don't know, the VPs are Miss Bruce, and she connects with students whose last name begin with the letters A to K, and Miss Giles, who connects with students whose last name begins with the letter L to Z. And we also have an experienced administrator, Mr. Ablett, who will be working with us from time to time. Also wanted to just remind you of the guidance team. So we have Miss Millard, Mr. Notice, and Miss Spittles. And we also have Miss Shanjanesi in our Contact and Student Success Program, Mr. Murray, Miss Hoffman, and Miss Ahmad. And you can see that they all play different roles and they're here to support you. A few important dates for semester 2 is that on March 10th, you will be getting your progress reports, and that report, as a reminder, has learning skills and no grades, but a comment to let you know, you and your family know where you're at, so very important for that. And the follow-up for your parents and guardians, if they want to speak to us about that, will be on March 24th when we have our parent and guardian virtual night. March break, as many of you know, is coming up next week, and we'll be returning on March 21st. And then you can see their midterm reports where you will have marks, comments, and learning skills are coming up in April on the 20th. And then we wrap up by June 22nd, and we'll be going into our final evaluations. And then the 30th is when you'll receive your final report cards. All right, so the focus of this PowerPoint or this video is to really just start thinking about, as we're getting back to normal, really starting to pull into setting high expectations for yourself, thinking about how you can be prepared and ready to learn and contribute to a safe, welcoming, respectful, inclusive environment. Really thinking about what does it mean for you to show respect for yourself. Over the last 2 years, there's been a lot going on. There's been a lot of distractions. But now, as things start to lift up, we really need to start stepping into some of the dreams that we have, some of the things we wanted to accomplish. And by the same token, also respecting others, the others that you're getting to know, even if there's differences. And also really thinking about the established rules and the responsibilities that we really need you to take in order for the school to be a place for everybody to learn and realize their potential. All right, so a few other reminders I want to make, because this is the first time we've gone to sort of an in-person attendance model where we have 4 classes. So if you're an in-person student, you should be attending your class when you're at school. Going online while you're at school is not really something that's not the system is designed for. So a reminder, if you are in school, you should be attending your class. If things are not going well, if there are some obstacles, if there's something you're curious about, if there's something that is getting in your way, you need to reach out. Here are all the supports that I've listed here that are available for you. So I know you can read through those, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can access them. So we have different locations for different programs, but they are all in service of helping you continue to get yourself to a point where you are figuring out, what does high expectations mean for me? So if you need supports, if you're thinking about a class, you get some feedback on your progress report, one of the key places to start is with your teacher. Talk to your teacher. Your teacher's already recognizing things. We need to have a dialogue. You're taking responsibility for your learning. Talking to your guidance counselor, very trained to help you access some of the supports that are in place here at the school. Because for all those programs, Contact, the Monitor Room, the Library Learning Commons, they all need to be set up ahead of time. So also a reminder, if you are being supported in any of our programs, you need to go to your class first. So important for you to stay connected to your teacher and the learning in the classroom. And the teacher is the person that will be discussing with you if it's a good time for you to go to another learning space. So your teacher has permission, needs to give you permission to go to that learning space. The other thing I've noticed is as we move from this long 2.5-hour classes to these 75 minutes, we need to be very clear about breaks. Breaks when a 75-minute period can be 5 to 10 minutes. Otherwise, these breaks are not in service of you actually being successful and meeting any kind of high expectations. They are actually leading to procrastination. They're leading to assignments not getting done. They're leading to you not really knowing what's going on. And that really is not something that we want to support. So just a reminder, the breaks should be short breaks. And if you are not, if you're not doing the breaks the way you're supposed to do them, in other words, you're taking too long, then the breaks can be assigned in the room. So you can take a break in the room. So just remember that breaks are a privilege that can be revoked. Also, a few reminders with regards to attendance. If you are going to be absent for more than 5 days and you know that you're going somewhere, it's an attendance absence form that you need to get in the office. Also, each day, your parent or guardian needs to call or email the school to let us know that you are not being in attendance. And we can see that as we look in your attendance. If it's been an authorized absence, we can see that. If it's unauthorized, we're going to get concerned. So then we could call home, then we're going to follow up. And that's where we need to make sure that we know where you are and when you're supposed to be in school. If you're late in the morning, get to class. Many of you are doing a good job at that. And then your teacher will adjust attendance because likely you've been marked absent and you would be marked late. And if this continues, we are going to be calling home. We need to really switch gears. We need to get back on top of things to make sure that we are setting yourself up, that you are setting yourself up to really be successful and reach those high expectations. If you have an appointment and you know about it, you need to sign out the office. So I think these are just reminders that I wanted to share with you. All right, so COVID protocols, they're here, you know them. We want to keep reminding you that the masks are very important. Many of you have been likely watching the news. Things could be changing after March break, but right now we don't have any official notification. We also know that some people might want to keep their masks on. So that's something that we'll be discussing when you return from March break. But keep up with the hand hygiene. I notice many of you are using the sanitizer. That's excellent. That COVID screening protocol is also something that you need to keep doing. And what that really is please don't come to school when you're sick, when you have the symptoms. The lunchtime, I want to say thank you. We have the grade 9s and 10s, as you know, in the first part, grades 11s and 12s in the second. Appreciate that you're sitting one direction because it makes it less chance of having any kind of spreading of germs. So thank you for that. Also, notice that people are going to the library commons, playing board games. Excellent. Those places are available for you to study in if you have a study period. Just one note that I noticed needs to be clarified. The stairwells are out of bounds during lunch, and that's a fire code regulation. Because if you're sitting on the stairs and we need to evacuate quickly, it could be a safety issue. So please do not sit in those locations. The new guidelines now allow you to eat in the halls. That's something that's just happened. So again, during lunch, you may eat in the halls. We would like you to social distance and sit apart from one another, once again, just for your own safety. And then once you're finished eating, putting your mask back on, and of course, cleaning up after yourself. So that's a new piece, so that can happen effective today. Other reminders, I believe this hasn't happened recently, but people were kind of hiding in the washrooms because they wanted to eat. Please don't eat in the washrooms. Also, the change rooms, don't meet up or eat in the change rooms. Those really are out of bounds during lunch. Hopefully, we'll be getting our intramurals going soon, in which case you have a purpose to going in there. But otherwise, you shouldn't be in the change rooms. And also, just a reminder that if you've got that energy and you want to throw a football around or you want to run and chase each other, please go outside. All right, that cannot happen in the school. I know you all know that, but this is a reminder to make sure that if you've got that energy to run and do sports, outside you go, please. Okay, and many of you have a locker, so just wanted to stress that locker should be the locker that you were assigned. Also, just another reminder, Don't bring any excessive amounts of cash or jewelry or anything that's really valuable to you to school. And if you do have electronic devices that you're charging, make sure you're close by. Like, don't leave them somewhere and come back and then be concerned that they are no longer there. Also, a reminder, textbooks from first semester must be returned. We need those textbooks back. Also, the Lost and Found is in the front foyer. Please have a look. There are some really nice things in there. And if you're looking for them and you've lost them, go there and have a look. Just also a reminder that what you're wearing has to be appropriate, is to be representing a safe, respectful, and inclusive learning environment. So the clothing shouldn't have any kind of offensive slogans, language, images, or sentiments. So that's just a reminder to make sure that that's what you think about when you're getting dressed in the morning. The other piece is very serious. I know for people who don't have allergies against perfumes, you think, oh my goodness, this is silly, but it's absolutely not silly. We are a scent-free school. There are staff and students in this building who will have severe allergic reactions. So please do not wear, bring, or store any products that are scented, perfumes, sprays, lotions, to school. All right, now I just want to move on to our community. So when you are in our community, you are representing yourself and Heart Lake. So if you're out and about, please make sure that you are being a strong advocate for the school, and that you are presenting yourself in a way that shows that you are teenagers, but you're not teenagers who are troublemakers. Because unfortunately, we have had a few calls of a lot of it seems like it's fun and games, but it's not. It's taken very seriously by our neighborhood. So please make sure that when you're outside or off school properly, that you are an ambassador for the school. Few reminders. I'm not going to go through all of these. I think this is very clear. There are many folks who have let us know that there is stuff like this, like the smoking and vaping is happening in our washrooms. Please stop. Like, if this is a habit that you have, please go outside and recognize that it's not a place to do it inside the school. Swearing and disrespectful behavior, you all know these things. So I'm just going to let you read those. The fighting piece, whether it's play fighting or pushing or shoving, cannot happen. It only will lead to more. It could easily be, someone easily could get hurt. And there is really no such thing as play fighting. I find sometimes it can easily get out of hand. So with regards to alcohol, drugs, and weapons, I think you know that they cannot be at school. And please don't go visit other schools. Every school has pretty sophisticated cameras. They will contact us, and they will send you a trespass letter. So also, please don't bring people that are not supposed to be here to Heart Lake. We don't allow any trespassers. So I think knowing the rules and following the rules are sometimes different things. So that's why we have progressive discipline. Progressive discipline is about allowing you to learn from your mistakes. So situations at first where rules are broken may not result in suspension right away. Because what we know about high suspensions is it's definitely not connected to setting high expectations for yourself. It often contributes to lower achievement. It often contributes to lack of motivation to do well in school. So we do want to acknowledge that people make mistakes, but we are expecting you to learn from your mistakes. So progressive discipline, and I'm sure you've heard this before, will be discussions and in-school actions, giving you the opportunity to do better, providing you with supports that you may need to help you do better, connecting with your parents and guardians, and then you can see that if the learning and the change of behavior doesn't happen, then you could be expelled. There could be an expulsion, which means you would no longer be attending the school. So just want to make you aware that that's the progression. The other piece is I want to really reach out to share with you that school safety is everyone's responsibility. We understand that sometimes students do things that they're not supposed to do. We get that. However, you need to be able to recognize when these things are creating a safety concern for everyone in the school, when things get out of hand, when we think, and you know what that is. So I think you are all able to take a stance on this and contact any adult in the building, especially with the way we're connected to our teachers through our virtual learning environments. You can connect it with an adult. So you can text us. Many students actually have asked me, I've given them my number. You can text me directly. You can call the school anonymously. You can get someone else to call the school. You can email your teacher. You can tell any staff member. You don't even have to identify yourself to say, I think there's something happening there. But we need to hear from you so that we can help keep the school safe. When we're informed, we show up. And when we show up, often things don't happen. And then I'm calling upon you to make sure that that's what you do. And if you're not sure in a situation what you should do, reach out to any of the adults. I've mentioned our support system. Everybody in this school, every adult in this school can help you make your decision. So I'm making sure that you are very aware of that. We are counting on you. Remember, school safety is really everyone's responsibility. The last thing I want to talk about, because I think it's something that has taken over a little bit, is that I understand that social media, when it's used appropriately, can be very empowering. I know many folks have said these last 2 years, social media has helped me connected to my friends. It's really been a positive thing for me to have social media. But we also know that social media allows people to say and do things that they otherwise would not do in person, face to face to someone. And things can very easily get out of hand. Harmful, hurtful comments are made. And they sometimes last for a long time. And they contribute to a small conflict, which contributes to a bigger conflict, which gets more people involved. And before we know it, we have a huge problem on our hands. You all have the ability to call people out, to stop hurtful comments. You all have connections to one another. Just like you can all parade around and make something get worse, you all have the power to make things better. So please make sure that you are very responsible in how you're taking in this information. Think carefully before you post or share things. And if you are unsure of what to do, if you're involved with a social media situation that gets out of hand, you need to ask for help. There are many places in this school that you can go to help you make good decisions. So I'm reminding you that this is something that we are expecting you to do. Okay, well, thank you very much. I really appreciate your attention to this point here. There's a lot that's been discussed. And these reminders are all about helping you set high expectations for yourself and to step into those expectations. We're not at the half point yet, so if for some reason you haven't gotten off to a good start, please reach out to the supports that you have. If there's stuff going on that you know you need to share with people that has to do with the safety of the school, please share. If you have any questions about what was said here, you can contact myself, any of our guidance counselors, your teachers, because remember, we are all here for you.